Story 1. Willingness to forgive you when you make a mistake. Speak in anger, rather than hold a grudge or try to punish you. This doesn't mean they won't still be upset, of course. Willingness to admit fault and take responsibility when they make a mistake, speak in anger, and work on their own negative behaviors. Related, taking you seriously when something upsets you, even if it doesn't seem like a big deal from their perspective. Not losing their temper when things don't go their way. Example. Do you want to be with someone who becomes upset when the car breaks down on a road trip and makes everyone else miserable? Or the person who calmly calls the repair service and tries to make the best of it? Not making personal attacks during arguments. Focusing more on how they are feeling and fixing the problem at hand, and then reconciling afterward, rather than lashing out with a list of perceived character flaws. Example. I feel disrespected when, rather than you're such a disrespectful person. Genuine care for you and others. A lack of self-centeredness. Being open to hear the perspectives of others, even when they don't agree. An understanding that they are not the center of the universe, they are not always right, and there is always something to learn. In short, emotional maturity. Story 2. When you like the person that you become when you are with them, everyone projects a different version of themselves around different people. If you do not like who you become when you are with someone, it is probably not going to be the healthiest relationship. Your significant other should bring out the best in you. Story 3. If it's a chore you both hate, you do it together. My late husband and I both hated folding laundry, but it had to be done, so we always did it together. It made the chore less of a pain. Story 4. It is a pretty convoluted story, but I was dating a guy, had to drive his car to get him from a situation, and wrecked his car due to mechanical failure and called my mom to come get me so we could go get him. Rescued him. Then had to tell him I had wrecked his car. His first question, "Are you okay?" My mom overheard. That one's a keeper. Story 5. No matter how angry you are at one another, you will still go out of your way, or they go out of their way to help. I'll be very upset, but I'll angrily make my wife her favorite dinner even though I don't want to eat. No matter how angry we are at one another, usually only lasting a short period of time, we will never sabotage or try to teach them a lesson. Many times, it ends up with both apologizing to one another. Arguing and getting angry is just part of a relationship and unavoidable. It is how you deal with it that sets it apart from a healthy relationship versus a bad one. Thank you for the rewards. There is never any harm in telling someone you love them. Story 6. Came home from working a 12-hour shift one night to a full dinner with my favorite dessert. Never had a girlfriend just decide to cook me a full meal for me to come home to like that. Story 7. Able to forgive mistakes. Early in our relationship, I accidentally backed my car into my fiance's car while coming out of the driveway. I definitely did damage. I immediately started freaking out and crying, and he just calmly got out of his car, came up to mine, and asked if I was okay. He got me to calm down and said it was fine. It was just an accident. He never made me feel bad about it. He referred to it as our little bump to my friends to minimize my embarrassment. We laugh about it to this day. Side note. His dad, who works with cars, fixed his car for him at no cost. Edit. No, he did not have any way of knowing his dad would or could fix the car. His father is not a mechanic. His father knows a mechanic. His father didn't bring up fixing the car until several months later. Story 8. When you are on a road trip and your partner feeds you fries and helps you drink your soda or whatever, I think that is such a nice, simple gesture of kindness. Story 9. My ex would tease me a lot and would tease me in front of his family. He would say things like, "Oh, she changed her outfit 3 times because she thought you guys would judge her." Or, "She didn't really want to come over, but I convinced her." He would be laughing and joking, but these things would be the truth. When I was going to meet my current boyfriend's family, I was really nervous. In the car, I said, "Please don't tell them how nervous I am. It's so embarrassing." He looked at me in shock and said, "I'm on your side. Why would I tell them that?" And it was like a freaking light bulb. Love this guy. Story 10. Genuine support in your life goals. Even if that means you two will have to go long distance for a while or will have to have conflicting work schedules or it will make your relationship harder in some way. If they love you and want you to be happy, they will be genuinely interested in what you want to do and will try to support you to do that in whatever way they can. They won't hold you back in any way. This is something my partner and I have been facing recently. He has just graduated and is looking for a job. As much as I want him to stay close by so we don't have to do long distance for any more time than we have to, I'm going home for the summer. But if he gets a job on the other side of the country, I won't stop him, and as long as I'm around, I'll help him pack up. Story 11. When your significant other takes criticism from you seriously without immediately trying to turn it back on you, and if the converse is also true, you two stand a great chance of going the distance. Story 12. Honesty. Genuine interest in each other's hobbies. You don't have to participate, but at least support them. Strong communication. You feel like you're spending time with your best friend, but with a romantic attraction. Story 13. Being able to have healthy conflict without fear that conflict will cause the end of the relationship is a green flag and a relief. It's important to have natural disagreements and communication about those disagreements without constant fear that someone is going to take drastic action. Also, preparing my coffee and bringing it to me in bed was a smaller green flag. Doctoring means putting cream and sugar in. Thank you for the recognition. Friends? Story 14. Your partner does things for you without asking and remembers little details. For example, I like eating with a fruit fork, the smaller version of the dinner fork. I actually Googled that since our family calls them the little forks. Anyway, my partner remembers this and will grab it for me when we're dishing up food. Another good one is they make you feel appreciated. Edit. It may be a cake fork or salad fork. Story 15. I've been with my partner for 40 years this month, and I still smile when I see him across a room. He still makes me laugh, and my heart soars when I think of him. Story 16. Listening to you and remembering the things you've said. Back when my boyfriend and I started dating, he would sometimes bring up things that I had mentioned before, such as my favorite foods and candies. It made me super happy, and I could tell he genuinely cared. Story 17. I drink a lot of water, and sometimes my boyfriend would stay until late and I would fall asleep. Before leaving, he always made sure I had a glass full of water on my nightstand in case I woke up thirsty. It's always the small details. Edit. I drink a healthy amount of water. Thank you for your concern. Story 18. You don't feel like they are playing games. Communication is direct, and you don't feel too nervous about what you should or shouldn't do or say, and you're not worried about what they do or don't do or say. Some butterflies are normal, of course. To clarify, my point here is it's possible to meet someone who, right from the beginning, you're not overly concerned about your interactions. You don't have to think too much about what to text them or when. The same goes for calls. They don't leave you wondering about when they will respond to you and what delaying means. They don't say or do cryptic things that make you go home and call in a panel of friends to analyze. This is not to say that, in the beginning, you shouldn't take care to be on your better behavior and not to overshare. This is not game playing, it's being considerate. Story 19. Active listening. Not just being there while you talk, actually giving opinions, offering advice if asked for, and genuinely caring for the conversation. Bonus. Active listening during an argument. Not trying to win, but trying to resolve the problem. Story 20. They communicate if they will be delayed and how long they will be. Talk things through before it becomes a screaming match, not after. Ask about boundaries and traumas and don't judge you for them, but instead, respect them. Story 21. If she shows equal interest in hanging out with you. If it feels like you are dragging them into going on a date, they are really not into you, no matter what they may say. Besides, let's be honest. Wouldn't you rather date someone who is as excited and interested in seeing you as you are in seeing them? Story 22. You want your partner to be happy, not the other way around. Oftentimes, people want to be in a relationship solely to make themselves happy. My point is different. Make your partner happy without completely forgetting your own happiness. Story 23. It feels easy, effortless, unforced, natural. This is a good sign of a real connection. Compromise feels like second nature. You both breathe thoughtfulness and consideration towards each other. You figure things out together. You see each other, respect each other, and appreciate each other. Story 24. It's the small things like doing something just because it will make your partner smile and expecting nothing in return. A few months ago, I was having a bad day and had texted my partner about the basics. He told me to head over to his place after work. I showed up, feeling defeated by the day, opened the door, and my dog was there. He had spoken with my parents, picked up my dog from their house because he knew that's what I needed. He was cooking dinner and told me to just go cuddle on the bed with my dog while he took care of everything else. That's when I knew he and I were in it for the long haul. Story 25. Maybe this is just me, but when someone doesn't care too much about people's opinions of them, like when they aren't afraid to act goofy in front of people they don't know, I absolutely love people who don't take themselves too seriously. Story 26. They are happy you have your own things you are into. You are happy they have their own things they are into. There is no battle of preferences. No nasty little "your hobby is dumb" comments. Story 27. Not a helpful comment, but I just wanted to say reading these gave me back some faith in humanity and reminded me of all the wonderful people in my life that I'm lucky enough to have experienced these green flags with. Thanks, Reddit. Story 28. These are all great, but here's one that matters more for the long term: being competent at life. I'm not saying being rich or having a fantastic job or anything. I mean someone who is able to set a goal and work towards achieving it. No matter what that is, it makes a huge difference in life. Someone who can do that is less likely to sabotage your marriage for selfish or immature reasons. Someone who can do that probably won't drag you down with credit card debt. They have impulse control, so they probably won't cheat on you or leave you for some stupid reason. That person is a keeper. Story 29. Arguments are productive and fair. You listen to each other even when you're angry. They can still be difficult and everyone gets too angry sometimes, but if one or both of you is constantly mad and fixating on the same issue, it's time to go to therapy or leave. Story 30. The person makes time for you. Whether it is a romantic relationship or a friendship, people will always find a way to make time for those they care about. Let us say I am very busy with my day. I can find 10 seconds to respond to your text. I have to eat a meal at some point, so even if I am very pressed, I can invite you to have a meal with me at a restaurant, a fast food place, or someone's home. I can call you when I am driving in my car. It baffles me when people say they were too busy. Too busy to do what? You mean you could not spare 10 seconds from your day to try to nourish your relationship with the other person? We all know you were on your phone while using the bathroom. You could have texted then. Story 31. When I met my current partner, we spent 3 consecutive days together. I generally don't like anyone in my personal space for more than a few hours. I also cried when he left to go home, as we were long distance at the time. That's how I knew he was the one. Story 32. You don't have to chase them down to hang out. My ex was severely mentally abusive and would punish me by blowing me off. This was after 4 years of dating, not like we were fresh, and it was appropriate to not respond for days. So we finally broke up and I met my now husband. He actually wanted to see me all the time. First, I thought he was a little clingy, but then I realized if you like or love someone, you should want to be around them. Story 33. When each person can find contentment without the other being present. A common red flag is the expectation that someone else can make you happy, when in reality that's something only you can do for yourself. The above is the opposite of that. Story 34. My current boyfriend isn't good at telling me he loves me. He's not good at communicating or picking up cues sometimes because of him being autistic. I've noticed, though, that there are a lot of little things he does that tell me he cares. I've made a mental list. When we watch a movie, he makes sure the blanket covers my toes and that I'm not cold and that I'm comfortable. He doesn't just ignore me while the movie is going. He's always making sure I'm comfortable and happy. When we go out and I'm pulling off a hoodie, he grabs my t-shirt and holds the hem down to make sure I don't flash everyone when it lifts. It means a lot, and it's a bit funny to me that he's always watching what I'm doing and being careful. He always makes sure to walk me home now, especially after I told him I was grabbed in broad daylight and didn't want to walk home alone at night. With previous boyfriends, they'd have dismissed me and told me to get over it or that there was no way anyone was doing that to me. He listens to me when I say I'm uncomfortable and makes sure to always ask multiple times just to check. He was extremely accepting and reassuring when I told him about being molested and abused when I was younger. He's not overly possessive and he believes in me, which means a lot. I'm bisexual and I've had boyfriends and girlfriends who thought badly and assumed I was cheating. He does not. He never does. He doesn't mind that my roommate is another guy and that I make semi-erotic content. He's wonderful. One of my favorite things is that he's great at communicating and working with me on little problems. He likes to listen to my perspective first and my solution, and he always trusts me and what I think.